louder? Oh my God. Just hold it closer. Hold it closer? Is that better? Okay. Anne is our techie, so she will tell me what's going on, or she will turn us up. Oh God. All right. So, some of you were at the last meeting we had. Maybe there's more. Looks like there might be some more here. And I'm assuming that everybody knows why we're here. But first of all, welcome, and thank you very much, because it's really great moral support for those of us who got letters. The famous, notorious letter from Dominion Transmission saying that they were going to be coming in July, this July, right away, soon, to survey our land, and would we sign permission for that because they're coming. And this is the pipeline, and it's coming. So that was sort of a shock because there was no place to say no. And so as the background, I began emailing some people, and no one knew anything about it. And I don't want to keep repeating myself, but anyway, I called a number of people. I called, I called because I thought they're digging up my soil. Who would know about soil? So I called, the health department, Tom Mike knows about soil. So I called him, and the lady that answered the phone said, I told her about it. She had never heard about it. So she said, you know what, I think you're right. I think it's a scam, too, because I thought it was a scam. And so she said, call the sheriff. And so I didn't call the sheriff, because I thought, I don't know if we need to do that. And well, anyway, as it turns out, since that last meeting, come to find out that I probably should have, because in fact, the sheriff also got the letter. So he's down in Anne's neighborhood, and she caught him mowing, and they were chatting, and he said, I got that letter, I don't know what to do about it either. So there you go. So there you go. Now, since the last meeting, we feel a little bit like we are what they call in cycling chipmunking, spinning our wheels desperately and not getting really far very fast. But we really have actually made a lot of progress. We have a web page, we have a name, and that is Friends of Nelson. What we're trying to do is stop the pipeline. I know it's a huge effort. There's this thing called fracking and natural gas that's happening everywhere. These are like spider webs, they're just happening everywhere really fast. But there's got to be a less destructive way than putting one of these through Nelson County. This is my deep-set feeling. Of course, it's also personal because I got the letter, and it's going right across our highest, most beautiful part of our property. My next-door neighbors also got the letter. So that what it does essentially is they will, from what I've researched, they will condemn at least a 100-foot wide corridor through the county. And after that, they will dynamite, and everywhere it has to be dynamite. And they will dynamite, and they will put this 42-inch pipeline down, and then it'll go to, through our county down to Buckingham, through Wingina and the James River. At the James River, there's a critical point, and there's apparently, from what I've seen, this is a really big pipeline. This is called the trunk line, and it's 42-inch. That's from their own data. And it's, so it needs, I'm not a specialist, but we actually have on our little steering committee that we also formed since the last meeting. A couple of people just volunteered. One fellow, which we'll meet, Ernie will introduce us, he laid gas pipeline for his living. And now he's completely against it, and he knows everything about it. So he's the source that we have for a lot of our information. But we also have done a lot of research online. Anyway, he said that that's a very big pipeline, and that there's the compression station, I think is what they call it, and that is marked on the map down in Wingina, or on the James at any rate. He said they often play counties against each other. It's going to be needing to use the James River because these are, I think he said, 2 or 3 jet engine, huge jet engines that need to be cooled constantly. He says it's extremely noisy, and they need to have this thing going all the time to increase the pressure, because it's got to have a lot of pressure onto this line because it's going 500 miles and it's a huge pipeline. So the whole thing really gives me creeps and really makes me nauseated and scares me, but I'm trying to keep a level head. So I've, done things like I've gone to the county website. Okay, so be level-headed. People, my neighbors, not my neighbors, but some people I have talked to said, well, how really these power companies, they vary everything. How is this different? We got phone cable under the ground, and, it's just like, this is really different. I've already told you why it's different, but I don't want to be alarmist, but there is a chance, and these explosions happen a lot. That's enough on that topic, because it makes me too scared. But anyway, I went to, someone said, there's also slow down because there's no reason that this has to happen so fast. I've heard that from many people. I've heard that from our county administrators, that I've heard it from Dominion on their papers. This is just speculative. No need to hurry here at all. And so even the letter that they posted, they gave this to Steve Carter, our administrator, a letter, and it's posted on the county website, and it's the sample letter for what will go out, that all the people on the line will get this letter, right? So the other day I was reading the letter there, even though I have one, but I filed it away, and on the letter on the website, it says, surveying will begin July 2015. I thought, that's funny. Why did I get all worried, and why are we hurrying? So I went back to my letter, and it says, surveying will begin July 2014. I think it's maybe a typo, but certainly, it's posted there for the public, and it really makes the people that got the letters secretly in their own homes, makes them feel a little bit like they are being alarmist, because other people who see it on the website say, you have nothing to worry about, because, this is slow moving. I don't think it is slow moving, because the surveyors are actually calling up, or people on our committee have gotten phone calls already, like, we're coming next week. Meanwhile, last meeting, we did tell everybody that we had been advised by the Southern Environmental Law Center and a number of lawyers that you can actually deny permission to come onto your property. So send back this letter if you got one certified, and they, just for the paper trail. And so most of us have done that, I hope. But ultimately, there's a law in Virginia that says, they can still come. So, this is where we're not really sure. We're trying to get legal advice. We're doing our best. The other thing I did, just to try to calm myself down, I went to, again, the county website, and I checked what else they had posted there from Dominion. They have all Dominion stuff, and also the gas pipeline industry information. I frankly would like to have our friends at Nelson linked there, but we'll see if we can do that. We haven't yet. So also on the talking points, my eye caught one, and it said something to the effect that gas pipelines and gas in general is as important to rural communities as broadband. So to me, I thought, well, I beg to differ, because I've had some pretty bad broadband in Nelson County, but it doesn't go dynamiting my property and condemning it and spraying herbicides for the rest of eternity over this corridor. So I think it's a little different, and I do. So anyway, sorry. Basically, to me it feels like we're players on a big game board, and it's really upsetting. I don't know how in the United States of America this can happen. How can it happen in Nelson County? I mean, we all moved out here because it was so beautiful. It goes against everything that Nelson County is about, the tourism effort, the effort that, my guests, personally, I mean, I run Acorn Inn. They come because they are getting away, they're escaping this kind of thing. They love the idea that we have a wild environment. And we do, we all know we have wild. Nelson is pretty wild. But anyway, it's pretty upsetting to know that we can lose that, and we will lose it. It's a huge, huge loss. And we're doing everything we can to try to stop this thing. And, you know, it reminds me a little bit like when we were kids, you know, we had fairy tales that we were read about the giant that ruled over the land of the little people. And everyone was afraid of this giant, you know, coming and just stealing their land. Well, you know, basically none of us all by ourselves, none of us alone is a giant slayer. I think Abe Lincoln said that. But really, we can stick together and see if we can get together with other counties to do our best to prevent this. And I think that there may be a chance. Ernie will tell you about 2 other pipelines competing with this Dominion one. I haven't had a chance to delve into that. It pits different counties against each other, but so we're trying not to do that. We're trying to just link arms and see what we can do, and all we can do is the best we can do. But we have to fight this thing. And right now, you know, we're just starting. And anyway, enough talk from me. Ernie will introduce